Appreciate how beautiful it is. I see everything!
The threads of your fate lie in my hands. By royal decree!
Let's go.
sword fighting is so much better than this. Oh, it seems I can't do it. Jean's sword fighting is so much better than this.
Clouds Agas.
Berat jam 3. Ini kisah bikin personal.
Oh, it seems I can't do it.
Benjamin August.
Let's go.
In the name of the Prinzessin! By royal decree!
Somehow, I feel even more tense after playing a few matches than I did before. Very well. I should also return to the Knights of Favonius headquarters.
With the new Genshin TCG order, some shape or form. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there was a card called Draw 2 Cards. Now, if this sounds familiar, it's because it exists in basically every card game in some shape or form. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there was a card called Pot of Greed that allowed you to draw 2 cards, and it got banned a long time ago and has been banned since. The reason is that in Yu-Gi-Oh, draw power is insanely strong, and in the Genshin TCG, though it may not be as strong as in some other card games, it's still very important for you to have answers to what your opponent puts in front of you, and also have other avenues to obtain resources and keep moving forward. Strategize allows you to get through the deck quick, has a low cost, and can help you take your deck to the next level. One of these cards is obtained for free during the start of the TCG quest, and you'll get the other one through the store. Technically not one card, but one archetype of cards. This is going to be your resonances. When you play at least 2 cards of the same elemental type, you get access to what are called resonance cards, and there's 2 types of resonances. One is going to be dice resonance, and the other one's going to have its own characters, and you pull the Electro Resonance card. You can give 1 energy for 1 back, and being able to use your burst right after if you've stored up enough energy. This can completely change the tide of a game. The Pyro Resonance card makes it so that whenever you react with Pyro, you switch characters, and if you're playing 2, few exceptions. As for the resonances that give you dice, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Getting resources for absolutely free is amazing. These cards can be found in the in-game card shop. Haven't Lost Yet, or the Ito card if that helps you remember it better. This card has a 0 cost, meaning that it can be played for absolutely free. Initially, you might think that this card isn't that great because it requires one of your characters to be defeated to be able to play. However, that's what makes it so good. If a character is defeated, you can create 1 Omni Element die, and your active character is going to gain 1 energy. It's almost a comeback mechanic on its own. Trust me, you may not play this if you're against NPCs because NPCs don't pack as much of a punch in this game, but if you're playing against other players, it is highly likely and possible that one of your characters will get knocked out, and this single card can give you a resource advantage. I Haven't Lost Yet is only bad when you're winning, and if you're winning, shop. Transformer. This card requires 2 black dice, meaning it can be any elements and you can mix and match them. This card effectively is going to give you a ton of resources for just playing the game as normal. If either you or your opponent just play, going to give you black dice, meaning it could be any elements and you can mix and match them. This resources for just playing the game as normal. If either you or your opponent uses a skill, and that skill deals elemental damage, you gain 1 progress towards its condition. Once you have 3 progress, it disappears and you get 3 different basic elemental dice. This is effectively turning 2 dice into 3, and if played at the right time, you can actually snowball your opponents and keep up the tempo by trading 2 dice for 3 dice on a separate turn. Though you can't choose what kind of dice you get, you do have the option of elemental tuning, and you also have those extra dice to play some other cards as well. Parametric Transformer is an insanely powerful card, and I highly recommend you try to get one. You can get 2 of them through the store. Black energy, meaning it can be any elemental mix, and at the end of every turn, one of your characters without max energy is going to gain 1 energy, prioritizing the active character. This card can be used up to 2 times, meaning you're paying 2 dice of any kind for 2 energy over 2 possible turns. If you draw this card in the early game, it can really set you up for success. The reason I like this card over Lu Su is because you can effectively choose which card is going to be getting the energy, whereas with Lu Su, you can't guarantee 2 energy to that same character. Some characters also don't really look to use their elemental bursts at all. With that in mind, Iron Tongue Qian by actually dueling Iron Tongue Qian over in Liwa. is one of my favorite cards in the entire game, Paimon. Paimon is a 3-cost white card, which means that you're gonna have to give up 3 energy of the same type. However, if you just happen to get unlucky and roll 3 of the same type energy that you're not able to use in this turn, that's basically a free card. Paimon gives you a free 2 Omni dice every round for 2 rounds. So you're effectively paying 3 dice for 4 Omni dice. These Omni dice also come in on top of the dice that you already start rolling. It helps you keep up tempo. Now, in general, I don't feel that food is particularly busted in this, but Lotus Crisps are insanely good. They mitigate up to 3 damage on the next hit that you take after using them, which effectively can prevent massive damage, combos, or a 1-turn kill. If an enemy has their elemental burst ready and they're trying to one-shot you, they may be more hesitant to use that burst out of fear of you healing up, switching your active character, or more. Lotus Crisps are an amazingly powerful defense mechanism, and I Lieben is here in the card game as well. During the end phase of the round, Lieben's going to collect any unused dice that you have, with a maximum of 1 of each element. When your next action phase begins after you roll for the next round, if the card has collected up to 3 elemental dice, you draw 2 cards and create 2 Omni dice. Now the card does go away right after that, however, 2 draw power plus 2 Omni dice for dice that you weren't even going to use at the end of your last round is insanely good. On top of that, Lieben has a 0 cost. This card is completely... Now, you might not think this card is that strong. All it does is make it so that you don't have to spend 1 die when you're going to switch characters. But that's exactly what makes it so powerful. There will be turns where 1 elemental die could be the difference between getting your burst, using your burst, activating certain cards, and more. Dice are an incredibly important resource, and changing shifts allows you to switch your active character for absolutely free with a 0 cost. There's no caveats, it's just a character switch, and it's absolutely amazing. You should grab one of these cards for still very, very strong that couldn't make the top 10. Cards that could an amazing card that gives you 2 cards at the end of each turn for 2 turns in a row. It's extra draw power at the end. Quick need to cause the next elemental reaction or deal just enough damage, 1 energy for the cost of 2 black dice. The main downside of this card, and the reason it didn't make the list, is because it costs 2 dice to get 1 energy when there are cards in the game that will give you the equivalent of 1 for 1. However, it's mentioned earlier that's going to give you an energy on a character that you see on that character. Extremely powerful card. Coming in at number 1 is going to be Send Off. This card can completely nullify an entire archetype of decks. For 2 black dice, you can choose 1 summon on the opposite side of the field and just destroy it. No caveats, no waiting turns, you just immediately destroy a summon on the other side of the field. If you didn't know, a lot of elemental bursts in this game, like Ganyu's Burst and Ayaka's Burst, count as summons. There's times where people can spend a bunch of energy trying to create a burst, and you can instantly just nullify it with the card Send Off. It can completely change the TCG. If this video helped you at all, make sure to like.
Let's go.
can do it.
Let's finish this swiftly.
In the name of the Prinzessin! I want to help.
Let's finish this swiftly. Where did I go wrong?
In the name of the Prinzessin!
One night gone.